Hi guys, Larry Feldman again. In this lesson we're going to be talking about number types, variables, and simple input-output within Python. So on a Mac, go to your hard drive, applications, your Python folder, and launch idle. We'll close the applications folder. And you'll see that we get this shell, and we want to create a new file which we will then save as a name. Let's just call it testing, and let's save it to the desktop. And this is the holder for the program, and the shell will be used for other commands which will become apparent as we move along. So the first thing we want to have in any program is a comment or two or three, and we write comments by using the pound sign, which is shift 3. I won't be using the term hashtag, sorry guys. Hit the pound sign, and then typically you want to put the title of the program, and here we'll just say testing. Hit return. It's common to put the author name and the date. So let's put those in. Then I just want to do a few examples using input and output. For example, let's say we print to the screen what is 6 plus 3. Then we write input, press the enter key to find out, and finally we print quote 6 plus 3 equals end quote. Then we have to put a comma here, and then we actually perform a calculation, 6 plus 3, right there. Now notice whatever's in quotes is printed verbatim. Whatever is after the comma is actually calculated and printed as a number. So let's choose File, Save, and make sure that you select or highlight the correct window. So when I'm selecting the testing window, I can hit File, Save, and from here I hit Run Module. And notice I'm going to come over to this shell, and I want to take control of it by clicking on it. So it highlights it. And notice it prints to the screen what is 6 plus 3. Press the enter key to find out. I hit enter, and it says 6 plus 3 is 9. So it does the calculation. Let's come back over to the py file. Let's try what is 6 minus 3. So in this line we're going to say 6 minus 3 twice. Hit File, Save, or Command S on the Mac. Run Module. We come back to the shell. Notice it prints our changes. We hit return, and it calculates the correct answer. So the math operations are pretty straightforward, and we'll just go through them. I don't have to type them all out, but just like you might expect, we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc. We can also do division. What is 6 divided by 3? So we can change that. Hit Command S or Save, Run Module, and notice we get 2.0. We can also do some things that are a little bit more advanced. We can say what is 2 asterisk twice 3. Now this means 2 to the third power. And you can put a comment here like this for your own benefit or for somebody else's benefit. And down here we need to change this to 2. I can write the caret here because I want to make it a little bit more legible, more for a human than a computer, at least on the left. And on this side I have to use the math operation, 2 to the third. And in fact I can actually change this here because that's more that's the common terminology for people. And let's cut this out and we'll paste it here. And just a quick note that we put comments in for a couple reasons. One is if we come back to a program after a few weeks or months, we may forget something, so we want to have a reminder. The second reason is because frequently someone else will be called upon, at least in a business environment, to modify someone else's code, and comments will dramatically help that effort. So we have some comments in there. Let's hit Control S, run module. What is 2 to the third? Press the Enter key, and you get 8. Let's just do a few more math operations. Let's say we have, what is the remainder of 10 divided by 4? Now, let's put in here the remainder of 10 divided by 4 is, and there's a special operator for this. It's called modulus, and it looks like the percent sign. It is the percent sign. So 10% 4 actually returns the remainder. So let's put that in here. 10 modulus 4 equals the remainder of 10 divided by 4. Let's hit Control S to save, run the module. We hit Enter and notice that the remainder of 10 divided by 4 is 2. That should make sense. 10 divided by 4. 4 goes into 10 2 times evenly, and then there's a remainder of 2. Okay, let's look at some more advanced features of Python. What we need to do is import math. And that is just a library of functions that have already been written for you, and they're supplied by Python so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And with that library of functions, we can do a lot. We can do a lot of things. For example, we can say print math.py, hit save, and run it. And notice that we have 3.14, etc. printed there. Let's come back here and say print math.e. Save it and run. And notice now it prints pi and then the constant e. We can also do things like this. We can say angle equals 60, and I'm just going to comment this as degrees, and then actually let's call this angle degree. And now I want to say angle radian equals, now how do you convert between degrees and radians? Well, if you're given degrees, you say angle degree times pi, so we have math.py, divided by 180. And now let's print math.sine of angle radian. So now what I've done here is I've converted 60 degrees to radians. Let me put a comment here. And now I'm printing the sine of 60 degrees. So let's run it, and we get 0.866. We can also say print math.log of math.e. What does this mean? This is log base e of whatever's in parentheses. So we're taking log base e of e, which is 1. So let's run it, and notice we get 1.0 at the bottom. Okay, a few more concepts. So let's erase this, and let's start using variables here. So let's say num1, which is number 1, equals input, enter the first number. And this is a convenient way to combine a print statement with an input. Now there's only one flaw here. If we know that the input is a number, we have to surround this input statement with another function. If we know the number is an integer, or we expect an integer, we would wrap it in this int function like this. Let's say number 2 is also an integer. So we'll say num2 equals int input, enter the second number. And then let's say print num1 plus num2. Command S to save, and let's run it. Let's see what happens. Enter the first number, 14. Second number, 6. We get 20. Let's run it again. Let's say the first number is 21.3. Notice that we get an error because we were expecting an integer. So what we can do is use float instead. Now float allows for decimals. So let's save it and run. Enter the first number, 21.3. Second number, 1.5. We get 22.8, which is correct. All right, let's erase this. Let's try a couple other things. Let's say cost equals 4.3. Now I can say cost 1 equals int of cost. So cost 1 is the integer value of cost, which we defined right here. And then let's print cost 1. Save it and run. Notice what happened is the output became 4. So it converted this decimal to an integer. Let's say cost was 4, and let's get rid of this line. And you can just put a pound sign there to make it a comment. Let's print cost. Save it and run. Notice that the number that's printed is 4 without a decimal point. Now let's bring this line back and say cost 1 equals float of cost, and let's print cost 1. So what's happening is we're setting cost equal to 4. Cost 1 is the decimal equivalent of cost, and then we're printing the decimal. So let's run it. Notice that it converted the integer to a decimal by appending the 0. So that's it for now, and I will see you next time. Thanks.